Today I fucked up by going on a date with an ill-behaved man-child. Sorry for the length and formatting. On mobile. Too long didn't read. I ignored the warning of a friend about a guy who asked me out. I lived to regret it. This happened in 2008, shortly after I got stationed in South Korea, Republic of Korea, officially. I was a lowly private, albeit a reasonably attractive woman in my early 20s. I was out one night with some friends, when a tall, funny redhead guy, who happened to be one of my friend's soldiers, asked to take me out to dinner. Friend told me it was a bad idea. I asked why, but he wouldn't give me details. My exact words were, "What's the worst that could happen? I get a free meal and we don't click." As you may have guessed, this was not, in fact, the worst that could happen. The following evening, we were supposed to meet at the taxi stand outside post, but he was late. He calls to tell me he's at the ATM and ask if I have cash for the taxi. Not a great start, but, sure, I can spring for the taxi. He gets to the taxi stand, we ask the Korean taxi driver, in our mash of Korean and English, to take us to the nearby Air Force Base, which houses the only Chili's on the peninsula. Something to the effect of a dish, Osan Kajusai. "Oh, sir, take us to Osan, please. We're going through back roads," and I ask what he thinks of Korea so far. He starts going off on a rant about how these people don't even speak English, and I must have looked at him like he had lost his mind. As I open my mouth to speak, a little boy loses his ball and runs into the street to get it. This set read off all over again, talking about these people have no common sense and just really racist, weird and out of touch comments. When he finally takes a breath, I remind him that we're in their country, not the other way around, and that everyone's been really respectful, so I'm not sure what his problem was in the first place. He gets mad, and puts his headphones on, not saying another word to me the whole way to Osan. When we finally pull up to Osan Air Force Base, I lean forward to pay the driver, and he says, in perfect English with an American accent, "Thank you, ma'am. That will be X amount of won." And I could feel the blood rush to my face. Red does a double take at this man's English and darts out of the cab. I apologize profusely, and the driver reminds me he speaks English, tells me he spent 10 years in Chicago, and that he knows I wasn't the one being awful. I tipped him as well as I could, thanked him, and apologized again. We had to take another, shorter taxi ride once on base to the Chili's. Red remained silent, and, not surprisingly, I paid for this one, too. Red, who is about 6 feet 2, dressed in baggy, bleach white shoes, pants, t-shirt and baseball cap, decides to go to the restroom as soon as we're seated. He comes back, immediately and loudly commenting on everyone staring at him. Trying to lighten the mood, I say that it's strange how clear it is which guys are Army, and which are Air Force. He asks how I can tell, which is almost funny to me, and I use the phrase pretty boys to describe the AF guys, and say the soldiers all look a little tougher. He starts yelling, actually yelling at me, that if I like AF guys so much, I should go out with one of them. I just stared at him. Server comes, I ask for a water. There's no way I want to be drunk around this dude. He insists that the margaritas are the only reason to come to Chili's, and orders one for me. The server is a young woman who looks at me nervously, but I just nod to let her know it's fine. I ordered a buffalo chicken salad. He orders 2 appetizers, beer and a steak. I had 1 sip of the margarita, and let him finish it, on top of the 3 or 4 beers he has. He snaps at the server, sends his food back, just everything he could have done. We don't talk much. The server brings the check and he says to her, "Oh, we'll split it right down the middle," or something very clearly to the effect of, "I'm paying 50% of that number." She looks at me again, and I take the check from her. I am totally done at this point. "Oh, if we're going to split it, let's split it. These beers are yours, the steak was yours, the appetizers are yours. Technically the margarita was mine, even though you drank it, but I'll take that and my salad, and you, sir, can pay for the rest." The server is just standing there awkwardly staring as I finally raise my voice at this jerk. He opens his mouth to say something and I snap, "What? Did I miss something?" And I hand her cash, as he hands her his card. He didn't even tip, but I did. Off post, tipping is rude, but, frankly, she more than earned it. He was totally silent the entire ride back, which, Of course, I paid for. I let his supervisor / my friend who had warned me know how it went down, and apologized for not heeding the warning. Somehow, at PT the next morning, Red had showed up in the wrong uniform and was smoked quite severely, I heard, but we never spoke again. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has been kind in the comments. I didn't think my default worst date story would cause this kind of ruckus. Info: I was an army medic, stationed on Humphreys at the time. We were briefed that it was considered rude to tip servers in Korea. At least one person with more personal knowledge than my own on the matter has clarified this in the comments. I was a server before joining, and strongly support people tipping their servers well and often where it is customary / necessary for them to pay their bills. This kept getting worse with every paragraph. Glad you decided to stop it. The biggest fuck-ups are ignoring multiple red flags. Dude was bitching about people not speaking English in a foreign country. WTF. I was stationed at Osan and it was people like him that made me want to constantly apologize for all Americans. My friend went to Mexico with a bunch of guys from his work. One of them bitched the whole time that there were too many Mexicans here. He's at an ATM, where you get cash, but asks if you have cash for the taxi. I know that we often give people the benefit of the doubt, but right there was a pretty clear signal that the night wasn't going to go well. You're absolutely right, and that's exactly why I remember that part so vividly. Thought maybe I just misunderstood, but I sure didn't. Sometimes I can't even begin to fathom how people can act like this. I'm amazed at the level of patience you showed throughout the night. It's great that you stood your ground against him. Thank you. I didn't have much practice at standing up for myself back then, but I'm very glad I found the ability. I think I would have let it go if he had at least treated the server and taxi driver kindly, but his behavior was just really uncalled for. You should have stayed in the first cab. That's definitely the farthest I should have let that go, but I seem to prefer learning things the hard way. Today I fucked up by lovingly laying out some clothes for my GF to wear the next morning. Happened 2 weeks ago. GF said she'd come stay at mine, but had work early the next day and didn't have clean clothes. Obviously I was super happy and not wanting her to head home before coming over. Losing valuable time with the woman I love, I reassured her that she had clothes here that she'd left previously. So I went to my drawers and found her a set of clothes, and laid them out on the chair in my room. She arrived, we had a lovely evening, dinner, sex, movie, cuddles, sleep. The next morning she's up at 6:30 and I go downstairs to make her a coffee. Bring it back upstairs and she's standing in my room holding the sexy black panties that were part of the ensemble I laid out for her. These aren't my pants. WH. What? These aren't my pants. I don't really need to go on. Needless to say I died inside and visibly outside too. She left for work shaken and upset. They really weren't her pants. I've never cheated on her, so I know they are either from a previous partner, we've been together 1 year, or there's been a laundrette mishap or something. But I totally understand how she felt. 2 weeks have passed and we've worked through it. We have a few theories, but we'll never truly know where they came from. Too long didn't read. Gave my GF some sexy black pants to wear, thinking they were hers. They were not. Edit, I'm English. When we say pants, we mean underpants, not trousers. I'm sorry this has proved a difficult concept for so many people. I hope adding clarity to this edit will bring peace to those with troubled minds. Good night. Oh man, I had a very similar situation a few months ago with my boyfriend. He gave me a pair of pants that looked like sports pants and thought they were mine. I myself have never had such a pair of pants and immediately became suspicious, sad, the typical feelings. Even his mum thought they were his ex's pants and I felt awkward until I realized that they were pants my boyfriend had randomly bought for himself to go swimming with me spontaneously. Maybe you'll remember the source of your pants problem one day, too. Glad you've worked through it, at least smile. Worked through it doesn't really sound like she's fully convinced though skeptical. I hope I am taking the wrong inflection. I once ended up when living in a share house with my people's shirt disappearing off the clothesline, but a piece of purple lingerie that I didn't discover until I got back to my room as I was just grabbing stuff that wasn't mine. I put a sign up saying I think someone may have taken my purple shirt by accident, knock to retrieve yours. The purple shirt turned up, folded at my door, but no one claimed sexy nighty thing. Which was awkward as only single guys with no sex lives lived there. My current girlfriend of 5 years found a bra pad in our laundry when we first started dating. It was a whole thing. Too big to be my roommate's girlfriend, and none of my girlfriend's bras were missing an insert. It was a horrible feeling, like I looked undeniably guilty, but hadn't cheated or anything. This led to lots of long conversations, and eventually she said she believed me. Eventually, like 2 weeks later, she found the bra with a missing pad. It was hers. One time I was folding laundry when I found a pair of underwear with #NoAngel on the back. I said, "Whose underwear are these?" And my husband was like, "I swear I don't know." Poor guy thought I was accusing him of cheating. I wasn't accusing him, I was legitimately confused. I looked and they were my size and brand. Turns out when I bought them they were folded up, so I thought they were plain black. I had no idea they had that printed on the back. I'm an idiot. Lol. So, I ended up finding a pair of panties in my ex's couch that were obviously not mine, except the excuse he used was that they were probably his cousin's, and sometimes he liked to use them as he jerked off. I'm not sure if I would have preferred hearing he cheated, but I'm glad I dodged that bullet. This took a turn I didn't expect. I was wondering why or how would he get his cousin's panties in his couch, and then straight up saying he uses them to masturbate. That's just weird. Today I fucked up at the gynecologist's office. It's that time of year and I just got back from visiting the doctor of the womanly nevers. So, there I am, reclining in the stirrups, practicing my relaxing breathing techniques. These things make me nervous, and the doctor asked if I have a dog. My brain just could not relate what was going on down under and that particular question, and it was like, WTF. Okay, first of all, yes, I do have a dog. I love my pupper. And honestly, that hair does get just everywhere / and my dumbass instantly thought there was dog hair all over my coochie goodies, so I asked her is that a problem, down there? She paused just a moment, the kind of moment I realize now is the must not laugh in patient's face moment. She looked me in the eyes and carefully said, "Your face mask. It has dog bones on it. I thought you might have a dog." TL, Dr. Ob/Gyn asked me if I had a dog while looking between my legs. I thought I had dog hair there, but she was asking about my face mask with the dog bone pattern. When I went to get a colonoscopy, it was at an off-site building from my dress office. Typically he's in dress clothes under his white coat, but this day he was wearing jeans and cowboy boots. They had already given me the medicine to make me relax, and I said, "Typically I don't let cowboys put things up my ass, but today I'll make an exception." He laughed hard and then looked at the anesthesiologist and said, "Put her out." Mine wasn't a fuck up, but I had a make gyno. He had to be 60 to 70 years of age. Seriously the best. He helped me with my polycystic ovarian disease and encouraged me in my own medical field endeavors, and I had a checkup at 18 years old. Well, I was also into piercings. He went down to perform the exam and said I like the bling. Lamau, I was mortified, but now it really cracks me up. I hope he's enjoying retirement. At 18 my mom set my first gyno appointment up with the doctor who delivered me. A minute after starting the exam the nurse commented how neat it is that he delivered me and is doing my first pelvic exam as well. Right then the doctor decided now was the best time to say she's the same boat today. I fucked up a girl that I delivered all those years ago, only thing that's changed is her size. Of course he said that while pointing at my vagina, like it was some record shattering for biggest on earth, and it took him a minute to clarify that my entire body, was no longer small enough to be held in one hand like when he delivered me.